regarding Florida State and who's starting where. That conversation's fun. It is a happy game week indeed to all of you. For those of you in the chat, doff the cap, thanks for coming along. Those of you driving about, wouldn't be game week, right, if we weren't worried about a freaking storm hitting Florida. There you go. That's what we get. We get that. Hey, hello, game week. Oh, hurricane. Great.
At least it'll be only a tropical.
With the warmth of these waters, sir, any storm of any kind is going to turn into a hurricane.
That's the one thing, with full respect to everybody from the NWS, the NHC, local meteorologists.
Don't you dare disrespect them, Tom Lang.
No. It's not disrespect to them. It's just that when the Gulf is 90 degrees or more,
it's all going to be a hurricane.
Wouldn't you think the intensification model, or at least the forecasting would say, yeah, look out, man. I don't know about a TS/Category 1. This thing's going to be pretty strong.
Well, just basically any time that they say there's going to be a storm, I'm like, well, that's going to turn into a hurricane if it gets in the Gulf. But, okay, you guys don't tune into this show to hear us talk about the storm. We'll gauge accordingly, and we'll let you know schedules and all that good stuff. But happy game week is I say that sincerely. I watched and won a little bit there. I had San Jose State plus 30. Ooh, just got it there. Had the Hawaii game, easy cover.
Very nice.
Very cover right there. And then, of course, we had Notre Dame. So there you go.
Yeah,
very
right
simple.
Over here.
Yeah, very simple. That's a good way to start. And those were mentioned on air. So, there you go. I'm good things. As for where my head's at as we start game week, it's in a good place. It really is. I feel an awful lot of confidence in this team. Now, let's take a look at what Florida State did. They did announce the depth chart. The projected depth chart has been posted. And, credit where credit is due. Since they kind of took the training wheels off of him and allowed him to go full bore, Robert Scott has looked in a very short period of time like the best option to play left tackle. And guess what? He is. He's going to get the start at left tackle. And, Tom, we thought out loud, you and I, what do you do with Bless Harris if Robert Scott starts at left tackle? Because your best offensive lineman is Jeremiah Byers. And we both agree on that. We think Byers is the best player you have on the offensive line. So I suspected that he would start at tackle. And it says that he is starting at right tackle, which leaves Bless Harris on the bench.
Agreed on most fronts. I would say that Byers is definitely your most athletic, 100% far and away.
Yeah.
Best, I've been very impressed with Robert Scott this camp. I think that might be a bit of an open question, but there's no doubt that Byers needs to be on the field. It's got to be.
Yeah, he does, and he is. And he'll start at right tackle, which means you look at the center position. Maurice Smith locked that down early in camp. He has just become as steady as they get. He's not ideal size. You'd like to find a guy. They tried. Casey Roddick comes in now. One heads up on Casey Roddick when you guys watch. He's going to be playing left guard. He's not great in pass protection. That's not his strength. He's a hoss. He'll help you in short yardage situation in the run game. Not great in pass protection. At right guard, it's Dimitri Emmanuel, who I didn't think was very good this camp at all. I would be kind of interested to see if Darius Washington got some run there, because they do list the or on that right side, and I'm kind of curious.
This offensive line that you see on the top line, left tackle to right tackle, I would rate as very, very good at run blocking. Very, very good at it.
Mm-hmm.
At pass protection, porous. That would be the issue. Now, if Braden Fisk is the real deal and dominant across all 12 games, then maybe we're actually better at pass pro. Maybe it's just a Braden Fisk issue about pass protection, because that dude is going to be just one hell of a player no matter who we're going against.
Yeah.
If he's above average to good, then I think the concern is there. But Darius Washington, of those three guards that are listed, not named Keandre Jones, so you just go with the three guys in bold, Darius is the best pass protector of all three of them, at least in what we've seen in camp.
Yeah, Darius has had a good camp, a very good camp. I had to apologize to him in our top 40, where we went back and looked at guys we may have missed on who had good camps, and Darius was my guy that I thought really played quite well, and he really wasn't even on my radar. Obviously, Jordan Travis, Trey Benson, Lawrence Toafili. When they list the running back 2, if you will, Johnny Wilson, and how about this? Destin Hill or Winston Wright. How far has Destin Hill come in a very short period of time?
So I was surprised to see him on the top line. And it's not because of performance. He's been very good this camp.
Yes.
I just thought it would go to Winston on the top line, and maybe Destin would be in bold, maybe not, but that he is in bold type as the starter, I'm surprised. That's good. It's good. It's not a crazy thing. It's just, wow, okay.
Tom, while we're looking at wide receiver, there's something that kind of stands out, right?
Somebody's missing.
Yeah, what's going on there? Are we? They have not announced that, but All Day Dre, Ira's favorite nickname. This is a little disconcerting, don't you think? Is that a mistake?
They've got a lot of good guys. He was one of your top 3 receivers in spring. There's no doubt about it. I'm a little surprised to not. Well, no, I'm very surprised to not see him on the list.
It didn't. I'm curious about this.
I'm not surprised at all to see Hakeem make the list.
Yeah, he came on late in camp.
Mike could have put an or underneath Kentron for Hakeem because he's been better and better as fall camp has bled into now what is game week.
Yeah. Tight ends, interestingly enough, to see Kyle Morlock ahead of Biscuit.
This is the largest stunner on the depth chart on the offensive side.
I really was shocked by that. Jaheim Bell, obviously, ahead of Preston Daniel, which, yes. But I'm stunned to see Kyle Morlock listed ahead of Marquiston Douglas. Now, again, Marquiston Douglas is going to play a ton of football.
If it was me putting it together,
I would have put Marquiston Douglas there.
And I would have put Morlock behind Bell, maybe,
yes,
and then put Daniel behind Marquiston.
Yeah, Daniel wouldn't have made the list.
I don't think I don't think Morlock and Marquiston play the same position. That's just the way I look at that.
I'm with you there.
If you're talking about pass catching targets, this is maybe the correct order, probably the correct order. But I think when you look at a snap count at the end of a game, Marquiston's going to be playing more than Morlock, I think.
Yes, I would agree with that. All right, on the defensive side of the ball, you're not shocked to see your linebackers are Tatum Bethune and Kalen DeLoach. You're not shocked to see Jared Verse starting, obviously. Is he your first-round draft pick? Braden Fisk, yes, is going to get the start at defensive tackle. Fabian Lovett or Joshua Farmer, that'll be a health thing. And then the other defensive end, Patrick Payton. Gilbert Edmond behind Jared Verse is the way they list it. Byron Turner behind Patrick Payton. So nothing really stands out too much to me there. Were you surprised at all? It is an or, but Jerrion Jones and Greedy Vance?
Yep.
I thought Greedy Vance would be on the top of that list.
Biggest surprise on defense.
Yeah.
Greedy Vance, I think, should be on the top line. Jerrion has had a good 2023. He has.
Yeah, he has.
He's an option. I know that Ryan in the chat, go ahead, post what you will. But Jerrion has been very good in this calendar year of 2023. It's just that Greedy, I think, is the lockdown nickel back for Florida State. We'll see if that is the case on Sunday, though.
Fintrell Cypress is going to get the start ahead of Azareye'h Thomas and Shaheem Brown, which you knew would be the starter there, and then Akeem Dent at free safety, or Kevin Knowles. Kevin Knowles had a great camp.
Not surprising.
Not surprising to see him listed there. And Ronaldo Green, your other starting cornerback. With Darius Jones, his backup, he's going to get run. The true freshman is going to get time out on that football field, and I think he'll play well.
I agree. I think if you're going to order the cornerbacks in terms of snaps, you'd see Renardo maybe at the highest. I'm going to throw the slot out, so let's just look at the outside.
I agree with you.
Renardo at the most, Fentrell second, Azareye'h third, and then the field.
I would agree. And that is your look. That's what you got right there. There's your starting Knowles for this football season. The returners, kick return, Deuce Spann or Trey Benson. Kick return, Keziah Holmes is listed as well. Keon Coleman, punt return, is listed as well. Keon Coleman, not surprised there, Tom. I'm not real surprised there.
Yep.
Ryan Fitzgerald wins the job over ETSU. He'll get first crack at it. Hopefully, I mean this. I know I've openly rooted for Keltner, but if Fitzgerald plays well, it'd be great to see. You don't want to have to replace your kicker. It means he's having a tough go. Punter, obviously, Mastromano. You guys know that. And I don't really think anybody cares about anything else from there. So there you go.
Yeah, I'd say that if you need a 55-yarder before a half, Keltner probably comes off the sideline. I think he would be your long field goal specialist. At 50, I think it's a toss-up. At 45 and below, it's 100% Fitzgerald. I'm just going by leg strength. It's not that Fitzgerald can't thump it. It's just that Keltner has a little bit extra, especially if there's a wind in your face and you got to have something from deep. And then at kick returns, I'm surprised to see an Orford Trey. Let's leave Trey in the backfield.
Yeah, and he did have one to the house and ran over people, and he is a monster. But yeah, let's leave Trey in the backfield. I agree with you. So your Noles are who we thought they would be coming out of camp for the most part. There's not a big shakeup. We wondered how quickly could Destin Hill crack this starting lineup? How quickly would that young man be asked to play a pivotal role for you on Saturdays, given that he hasn't played football for 2 years and he is a true freshman? And the answer is it didn't take long at all. Within, I don't know, Tom, a week and a half, we were thinking to ourselves, that guy may be your starter. He is really looking good. And I, Winston Wright's going to play. The only shocking thing about this entire list is the Vendravius Jacobs stuff. I don't, when that came out today, I think everybody had to have probably raised an eyebrow, given how much we've talked about Vendravius Jacobs.
Yeah, it just, again, if you want to earmark it from the end of spring to now, that is a stunning development. However, I would say, and I'll pivot quickly to the receiver room, it's better than I thought it could be before camp started.
Yeah,
it's a lot better.
It's a good room. Yeah.
Because of what Destin is, because Winston Wright is at full speed. I mean, he looked even more full speed on Saturday inside the stadium than I had seen him at any practice prior.
I thought he had his best practice on Saturday night. He was nondescript for me this entire camp until Saturday night. I thought that play, he doesn't do anything to wow me that's any better than Destin Hill, ever.
No, but I think in a situation where it's 3rd and 5 and you got to have it, I think even before Saturday, you would put him on the field because he's got a little bit of that Micah Pittman through traffic kind of ability.
And I'm rooting for him. I want people to understand this is not some sort of weird personal vendetta or anything like that. He just hasn't wowed me at any point.
But full agreement in that the explosiveness was present in a way on Saturday that we had not seen before. At least that's my take on it.
It's exciting. By the way, my prediction for the season is that Keon Coleman will be your best wide receiver. He'll be the guy that we're talking about as the season wears on. Week in and week out, Keon Coleman will be your best wide receiver, I think.
He's got the most tools. Yeah. He's got the most tools now.
He's also the most pro-ready. He's all that.
Yeah, but Johnny's not far behind. Johnny doesn't have – I mean, look, Johnny's 6'7", so that's one of his gifts.
That is the overarching – talking point about Johnny Wilson is that he is a matchup problem because at 6'7", you shouldn't be able to run like that at 6'7". You have a distinct advantage because of that size. I agree with you. He's got to catch the ball better, and he's got more work to do of his overall skill set at wide receiver than Keon Coleman does.
That's correct. But it's like looking at a Ferrari and saying, oh, well, yeah, I'd rather have that than a Porsche. I just maybe not for the speed factor, but just how they present.
Right.
I mean, Keon, I think, is going to be a first-round pick. I really believe that, just looking at everything that's involved in what he brings to the table, and that he's going to also be a punt returner for you, too, at that size is weird. But it's the correct call. It's the correct call. He was the best punt returner in camp.
Yeah, he was, and I'm excited to watch him play. I'm excited to watch this team play. I'm ready to get underway. We all are. I think the team is done with practice. They got into a bit of a skirmish. And that happens. You hear about stuff like that in camps all across the country. At this point in camp, when you get this far along, it's hard not to have a pushing match here or there or something like that. You're tired of blocking the same people all the time. And guys have traits. Some guys like to be the last touch guy. They got to put their hands on you and push at the end of every play. You get tired of that after a while.
Yeah.
People begin to respond at this point in camp.
As long as it's not fisticuffs on the field followed by in the locker room again, like right. LSU had with Denver Harris.
No. They just, you can tell that my point of bringing any of this up wasn't to tell, company secrets. It's that they're testy. That's all I'm saying. They're beginning to get testy, as one would when you've practiced as much as they have in this heat for as long as they have. They're ready to take it out on somebody else. That's my main point of bringing this up at all. I think that they looked a little bit testy. And
they're ready. It's been a good camp, though, because it's been more competitive top to bottom. There have been a lot of reps over the years here at Florida State since, I don't know, about 2017 that were no contest. Yes, they were run, whistle blows, play made, but you knew what the result was going to be before it happened.
Mm-hmm.
Not so this camp. A lot of reps in doubt, guys going and earning things. I mean, you see it. Destin Hill legitimately climbed from obscurity into a starting role. I mean, that is only earned. The only way you can do that is through earning it.
Think about how many times it was a running joke on this show in the chat where people would ask about the unicorn that Destin Hill, was, right? Like, we openly laughed at the idea that maybe he never really existed, that the recruitment of Destin Hill is a figment of your imagination. It's not a thing, because at some point you get 1 and 2 years removed. You know how these things go. Generally speaking, if a guy that you were trying to bring in either doesn't qualify or there's some outstanding reason that you're not aware of as to why he couldn't be admitted into the university for whatever reason, if it doesn't happen and a year goes by, you kind of give up on the idea that he's ever going to play football for you. You look for his name at a JUCO, and then you kind of see like, well, maybe 2 years from now we'll see him again. Maybe he'll be able to get in, or something like that, or whatever your off the field concerns are will be alleviated. Let's hope so for the young man's sake. We've had those conversations. Generally speaking, that's how these things go. But this time around, they patiently waited for 2 years. And that should have been the indicator that this kid has some juice. You don't wait around on a kid for 2 freaking years unless you think he can drastically change that segment group, unless you think he can change who you are offensively in this case. And they were right to wait. I mean, he came here, and in one camp, he's the starter.
It is now etched in the stars. He's going to do something special on Sunday. He comes from the New Orleans area. They're playing LSU. I can hear it. I could just hear it on the broadcast that he has done something.
That's a good talking point.
What a story. They go down to the sidelines for more information on Florida State's pass catcher there on the 65-yard touchdown. It just feels right. Maybe it's a kickoff return. Who knows?
A lot to talk about. It's game week. Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Honey, I just got a text from Dave. He wants us to come over for a barbecue. What's our excuse for not going?
Oh, no need for an excuse anymore, because Dave got a new girl from Hearth and Patio.
Oh, thank goodness. Dave, we will be happy to join y'all this weekend, and congrats on the new grill from Hearth and Patio. My wife said she would bring potato salad.
Hearth and Patio invites you to elevate your grilling game this year with one of their amazing grills from Fire Magic, Royal Master, or Blaze Grills. Call them today, 850-727-4282. That's 850-727-4282, or visit them online at hearthpatiotallahassee.com. Hearth and Patio, making barbecues great in the Sunshine State.
Honey, Dave said no raisins in the potato salad this time.
Call them today, 850-727-4282. That's 850-727-4282, or visit them online at hearthpatiotallahassee.com.
Someone who thought texting was a better idea than stopping for a traffic light slams into your rear bumper. Now your back is injured, and you've got to be at work and rehab, all without a car. I'm Jimmy Fasig at Fasig Brooks. We hear stories like this every day. You shouldn't pay for someone else's mistake. Call us at 850-777-7777, and we'll make sure you come back stronger.
When you need a plumber quick, how long is an acceptable time to have to wait?
Yeah, hey, it's the Millers again. Just calling you about our little plumbing problem.
2 hours?
Hey, we were hoping you can get here soon because the water is getting really bad. I mean, please hurry.
4 hours?
I know you said you were on your way, but, honey, tell the kids to tread water.
8 hours?
Don't worry about us. We're fine.
At M&L Plumbing, you'll never have to wait long for quality, dependable service right when you need it. At M&L Plumbing, we listen to our customers, and our qualified technicians aim to achieve 100% customer satisfaction. So the next time you need plumbing work or repairs, think of the name M&L Plumbing, your local plumbing experts, commercial or residential. Give us a call, 850-575 9393 or visit us online at mandlplumbing.com. M&L Plumbing, for all of your plumbing needs.
Labor Day savings start now at Lowe's. Get up to an additional $1,500 off select major kitchen appliances. And save $100 off select laundry pairs, priced $1,396 or more. Plus, pick up the latest DeWalt PowerStack 20-volt max 5 amp hour battery kit and get a select Bear tool free. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 8/30. Appliance savings vary based on purchase amount. Exclusions apply. See Lowe's.com for details. While supplies last.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
We all want more energy, more strength, more results. Well, welcome to Orange Theory Fitness as you take a step towards feeling more alive today. Backed by science, Orange Theory's heart rate monitored workout is scientifically designed to keep heart rates in a target zone, spiking metabolism and increasing energy. Orange Theory Fitness is a one-of-a-kind group personal training workout resulting in more energy, visible toning, and extra calorie burn for up to 36 hours. Experience a more vibrant life today with Orange Theory Fitness. To find out more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
Welcome back to the Jeff Cameron Show, sponsored by Legendary Home Loans, a mortgage experience designed around speed, simplicity, and customer service. Before you buy your next home, contact our friend Shannon Young with Legendary Home Loans. Visit FSUHomeLoans.com. FSUHomeLoans.com.
Late, just because it could get us in trouble. I also really quickly thank you, Z-Chan. It was good to see you on Friday, and that allows me go ahead, hit the woo. Appreciate you, brother.
Holy Jesus!
Yeah.
Holy Jesus!
I will. I don't want to really speculate on Vendravius Jacobs. I don't know. I don't know what that is about. So we'll wait and see if Mike addresses it now that there's a depth chart. I gotta believe it's going to come up. I gotta believe it's going to come up. That on the list of receivers on the damn depth chart. So we'll see. As far as Friday went, big ups to everybody involved in that. I want to thank the Battles Inn for providing free beer to everybody who came out. Good job. Thank you, Battles Inn. As always, that was great. I want to thank the Corner Pocket for hosting it, obviously.
The keg made it to 6:38 p.m.
6:38?
Yep. We got to kill that keg sooner next year, and we'll do that together.
Yeah, I got out of there, I think it was about 6:15, 6:20, so I missed the killing of the keg, the end of it, as I was going to a high school football game. So that said, I want to thank everybody involved, obviously. Vernon Company providing the shirts. They were good-looking shirts. They are good-looking shirts.
They're comfy.
Yeah, they're comfy. They're good-looking shirts. People liked them. That was good. Thanks to all of you who came out, obviously. And I want to thank my friends here at 93.3 and at Warchant, too. But that was good times. It was not a heavily publicized event. We didn't do it up like we have in other years, but we didn't want to skip out and have the season get started without doffing the cap. And we did. So that was nice. So good on you. And we do appreciate you. Now, as far as the starting lineup in football that was played over the weekend and where we sit, this is the week, Tom. We got to do W's and L's. This is it.
How do you feel?
I feel good.
You feel prepared?
We don't have to do W's and L's today. We didn't
Okay.
talk about it. We can do W's and L's at the end of the week.
There's confidence in the voice here.
Yeah, no, I like this team. Everybody does the thing. This is the week to do it. Really, the build up to this week to game week is usually crescendoed with a, hey, what's the ceiling for a football team? What's the floor? What's the worst they can do? What's the best they can do? And I said this last week when you and I did a show together, that there have been plenty of years. There you go. There have been plenty of years when I thought best case scenario, this team gets bowl eligible. You know, like it's not a pie in the sky projection when you say 6-6, 7-5 like that. There have been years where you thought the very best they can do is to win every game that is decided by one possession, get all the breaks, any ball that's on the ground that they drop, they recover, and the other team drops, they recover. You know, all of that, like everything has to go right. Then there have been years, and this is one of them, where you say, oh, they could go undefeated. They could go undefeated in the regular season. Yeah, I think this team is that team. They could go undefeated this year. It would not shock me at all if they went 12-0. Am I predicting them to go 12-0? Well, you'll have to stay tuned and watch W's and L's as the week progresses. We'll do it later in the week.
When are they?
When do we do it? I don't know. You want to do it Wednesday?
That sounds good.
Middle of the week?
Weather permitting.
Yeah. Let's shoot for Wednesday or Thursday. We could do it on a Redemption Thursday. I don't know.
Ooh, that seems
it's
fitting.
the first Redemption Thursday of the year. Yeah, we could do it.
Also, you know, things will have passed by then, hopefully without incident.
Yeah.
And so therefore Thursday sounds good.
Yeah. So Thursday is probably what we'll do. So worst case scenario, though, I will engage you in that. Because the way you do that, exclude injuries. Everybody can say, oh, well, if we lose Jordan Travis, yeah, right, man, right. And if USC loses Caleb Williams, and if, you know, whatever, I mean, I got it. If Drake May doesn't start for North Carolina, they're a different team. Yeah, man, if your starting quarterback gets hurt, you probably are going to have a lost season. There are very few teams, very few, where that doesn't apply. Some, I mean, when you've loaded up, when 90% of your roster is a 5-star player, then you can probably win a lot of games at Alabama with your backup quarterback. But we're not quite there yet. We haven't done that year over year over year. So if Florida State loses their starting quarterback, obviously it's a nightmare scenario. So we don't gauge the floor with these scenarios of predicted injuries for your top receiver, top running back, top defensive tackle, or quarterback. We just assume they're healthy, and we make adjustments along the way if we learn something new. Let's knock on wood, we're not having to make a lot of adjustments based on what happens in the post-game reports due to injury, right? So if they're healthy, I think the worst they can do is 9-3.
I agree. Yeah, I think you lose both of your coin flip-ish games.
You'd have to lose both Clemson and LSU.
And then a turnover fest somewhere else along the way.
You just have a bad game against Pitt on the road or a bad game against Florida on the road.
You got your NC State / Jacksonville State clunker.
Yeah, you just have a game like that.
That can happen.
Worst case scenario, 9-3. And by the way, if for some reason they were to go 9-3 or God forbid 8-4, we're having a very different kind of conversation.
Mm-hmm.
We are going to be, again, I bring this up every year just to remind everybody, no matter what your preconceived notions are about a season, a team, a player, a coach, wins and losses happen for a reason. You can predict all you want, but then you see the games. Those wins, those losses, they happen for a reason. And that is what elicits emotion and, obviously, conversation. So if for some reason they were not able to get the most out of this team and they did go 9-3, we're talking about some people whose jobs might be on the line. I'm not saying they'd fire Mike. I'm saying somebody's going to have to pay the piper for a season with this talent and this schedule. You do anything 9-3 or worse, no. We got issues. Somebody screwed up.
Yeah, I think you can use everybody's favorite, a golf analogy for the records this season. If you talk about relative to par, bogey, double, birdie, equal, whatever. 9-3. Let's say you go 10-3, 9-3 in the 12, and somehow because you lost maybe to 2 out of conference opponents or whatever, you make it to Charlotte, and then you do win the ACC championship. I still think that's bordering on a bogey. I think that's a disappointing season. Like, you could have a banner and that flies forever, but if you lost 3 times in these 12 games, it would be nice to win the ACC championship, but you'd go, really? Okay. Got it together just in time to go to a mid-level bowl. Thanks. Appreciate that.
Yeah, and it would mean that you lost any game you played against somebody who was capable.
Right. Or I guess it would be a New Year's Six for an ACC champion. But, it's like, all right, you got him on the way out, but it's not successful. I have said before, I said it back in spring, and I believe it now. This is a playoff or bust year. The field is breaking in new quarterbacks. There are flaws abound in that top 5 for you to take advantage of with this extremely experienced roster.
Well, I yes and no. If you go 10-2 and then turn that into 11-2 and win the ACC, and somehow you're left out of the playoff because there are 3 undefeated teams and 1 1-loss team, you wouldn't say that was a failure of a season.
You could call it a success, but I would be disappointed. This is a year, man. This is a year to make the playoff.
Well, so wait a minute. Let's define our terms here. You'd be disappointed if they don't go 11-1 or 12-0, is what you're saying, right? They can't do any worse, according to you right now.
Well, no, the worst they can do is 9-3.
But I'm saying 9-3 is a failure. But you just said that if they won the ACC and went 10-2, you'd be disappointed.
Yeah, I would. If they don't make the playoff, yeah, this is a year to make the playoff. Yes. So if that means by definition that you would say 10-2 is not good enough, if you lost to LSU and Clemson and we're doing the no injuries thing, yeah, I'm disappointed. These are the 2 games against opponents that you are finally on par with. If you lose both of them, come on, man.
Yeah, but hold on a second here. You're an underdog in the first one. You're probably going to be an underdog in the second one. Also, so you'd lose 2 games in which you weren't favored to win. Also, you'd lose 2 games, neither of which are at Doak Campbell Stadium.
I would say to that, so.
Okay,
well, this is where we are now. This is where this year's team. Next year, if it was next year's roster in this situation,
that you're willing to put your name on it. Yeah. That's good. I want clarification for show records.
Sure.
That basically you're telling me anything short of 11-1 or 12-0, you're disappointed by. Because I'm assuming that if they go 10-2, they lost to Clemson and LSU. So that is a disappointment to you.
Yeah. Unless they could somehow go 10-2 and make the playoff because of weird circumstances beyond their control.
Well,
which would be 11-2 in an ACC championship. I'm very result oriented this year.
Yeah,
that they should go to the playoff.
They got a good team. They got a very good team. You're gonna every Saturday you suit up. I'm certain you've got the best quarterback.
Yeah.
If you have the best quarterback each week you play, you got a good chance to win.
And he might not be the best player on the field. Because you have one at defensive end. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's Jared Verse. Yeah, when we talk about, but when we also talk about draft positioning as opposed to just collegiate players.
I'm just saying the ability to take over a game single-handedly, it might actually be Verse over Travis. I mean, this dude has just been unbelievable.
He has been unbelievable, but people won't allow for that. They'll double him and they'll do things. I mean, if he becomes the nightmare that we've seen some guys become for teams where we can't get a playoff because this guy's killing my left tackle on every play.
Yeah.
They'll chip him. They'll double him. They'll have to commit. And he's still effective at that point.
Yes,
but he won't rack up numbers that would have you say he's dominant. At that point, if they're doubling him or running right at him, which is what I would do, then you're going to have, a situation where he's not amassing sacks and he's not, those kinds of things.
That's
not forcing
fair.
Turnovers.
I'm just saying, when you go top line talent for top line talent, and we're playing the game of injuries aren't a factor. This top line talent should go at minimum 1-1 in the month of September in your 2 big games. They should.
I agree with Briley here. The reason I was pinning you down on that, if you go 11-2 and that includes winning the ACC, I just don't know how you'd call that a disappointment.
If you don't make the playoff, it is. It is.
I can't get there with you. Some of those circumstances. Now I'm. We're close. We're close on this. But if you lose 34-31 on a last-second kick to LSU and 28-27 on the road to Clemson, and then go on and beat the bejesus out of everybody else, which includes sweeping your rivals again this year, and then getting revenge in the ACC championship game and winning that, and finishing as conference champions 11-2. Your 2 losses are 2 games that you were an underdog in, neither of which were played at home, and you go, you don't make the playoffs because of circumstance, like the other teams are undefeated or whatever it might be. I just would not call that a disappointment. I understand where you're going, but I wouldn't do that.
Life is a series of contradictions, like it can be a successful season. And I personally feel disappointed about the level of success which they attained. Like I would agree with you that objectively it has to be viewed as a success, but I will still feel disappointed.
Okay. Well, that's fair. I'm asking you after all. Yeah. It's just if they go 11-2 and win the conference and avenge a regular season road loss to Clemson, I'm not going to be angry. I'm not going to be disappointed. I want to make the playoffs. I do. And you're right. I agree with the assessment that this is a good year to make the playoff because a lot of people, the powerhouses, are making adjustments at the most key positions. I agree. But we have not put together, this is where I come back to how close we are to being back to our old selves, to operating at peak efficiency and not yet quite being there. We have not put together top 10 classes year over year over year over year. We haven't. So what we've done is we've supplemented our roster with transfer players, and that's great. You have to do that when you don't have good players. You got to raise the floor really quickly, and the best way to do it is to take advantage of the transfer portal. And Mike, it can be argued, has done it better than any coach in America. And I give him kudos for that. And I don't look at that as a black mark on his record. I say, no, that's good job. Good job. You had to do that. Now it looks like we're going to have a top 5 class. And if you put together a series of top 5 classes, back to back to back years or whatever, then yes, I would agree with you that you start raising the bar so high as to say, hey, man, unless you go 11-1 or 12-0, it's a bad year.
Here would be a recent Florida State history analogy. The 2020 Florida State men's basketball team, ACC champions that they were robbed of an opportunity to go farther.
And they would have gone, I believe, to the Final Four.
If they won the ACC regular season, which they did, and they actually played for and won the ACC tournament title, which they could very likely have done if they cared to.
If they cared to, right? Probably would have, yeah.
And they were eliminated in the Elite 8. Is that a successful season? And would you be disappointed? I think you have to deem that.
I would be disappointed, yes.
But it would also be deemed as a successful season, wouldn't it? You go to the Elite 8, and then you did the sweep of the ACC.
Yeah, it would be. But also, one-off tournaments are iffy deals. We know that. We've watched 1 seeds get bounced, 2 seeds. I mean, hell, Virginia lost to a 16 seed.
But after that Elite 8 game, you'd go, oh, all right. I mean, great year, guys.
You'd be mad.
But,
You'd be mad.
I think that's how I'd feel about 11-2 and an ACC championship with no playoff.
Well, win the conference, get back to doing that, establish something there. And I think, again, how you play in these games matter. It's really going to inform the conversation. I'm with you if we get trounced in the 2 games against teams with like talent. If we've got even talent with those 2 teams and we lose both those games convincingly, that's a different conversation than if you lose 2 heartbreakers in which both teams were really good. And it came down to a last-second field goal or something. That can happen.
And I get it. If you want to view these 2 as coin flip games, just because you flip a coin twice doesn't mean it's going to land on either side once. Like, I get that. Yeah. But this is a result year. Come on, get the result. Well, it's got to be your side of the coin once out of the twice.
What do you think is more likely? And this is actually a fun conversation because all right, who are you going to lose to if you lose one of these 2 games?
That's hard for me to answer.
That's a real hard. Why?
Because I feel confident about both.
Well, but also you could see them losing either one.
Oh, I guess.
That's my point.
I didn't even consider that. I feel confident about both games. I took the optimist side of it.
Yeah, but again, it's hard for you to choose because you could see them losing either one. You don't think they will, but you could see it. It's not crazy. You wouldn't be shocked at all. It'd be shocking if they lost to Duke. It'd be shocking if they lost to freaking Syracuse. You'd be stunned.
I'd be surprised if they lost to both. I don't know about shocked, but I'd be surprised if they lost to both. I mean, come on.
Who are they more likely to lose to?
That's... can I Can I dodge it very quickly this way? If you flip the order of the games,
Yeah.
I would be more shocked if they lost to LSU, but because LSU's in week 1, I guess I have trepidation there. I just feel like player for player, position for position, they should beat LSU. Come on now. They should win this week. They should.
LSU had the number, all the advanced stats say that LSU had the most elusive quarterback in college football. Jaden Daniels.
Florida game says we're not far behind.
Right. Jaden Daniels, though, consistently graded out as the best scrambling quarterback in the country. All those metrics point to him. And we watched that in the second half. We watched that period, that whole game. The only offense LSU had was him running around making plays, because anything on time or anything in rhythm, anything on platform, they didn't really accomplish anything.
No. The best throw he made hit Keyshawn Butte in the face mask.
Yeah.
He wasn't looking for it.
Right.
Because he was mentally checked out.
Yes, he was. So
that helped.
But so it's interesting. Then the other part, so you have that quarterback for LSU who's just, that kind of erases some of your advantages.
Yeah.
Okay. Then secondly, if I'm making the case for a loss, let's say.
Sure.
Secondly, let's not think that they don't have really good offensive and defensive linemen and linebackers and all. They do. And their only concern is corner.
Correct. And if I'm painting the picture for us to lose, it's that the interior of the offensive line, I already have it as my number one concern for the offense.
Me too.
But it's not, it's a larger concern than I anticipate today. Like, it bears out in the second quarter. You go, oh, this is not, oh boy, this is just legitimately a problem. Now, this offense has worked around offensive line deficiencies for years. Mike Norvell is very practiced at this at Florida State.
Yes, he is.
We can move Jordan and create protections that are outside the normal pocket and all kinds of stuff, roll them out. And they did that to great success last year. Like, they've already proven that against LSU. So I feel like you've got an answer, even if the interior of the offensive line can't pass pro. But
it's just
that
rare.
could be a problem.
It's just rare that you can make compelling cases for you to win both those games. Like, I could sit here and you and I could talk, and by the end of it, we'd convince everybody that Florida State's going to win this game going away. Like, there are a lot of scenarios where I could see that happening. But we could also, if we wanted to, objectively come back at it the other way and make a case for a loss, and maybe even make a case for a tough loss where you lose by 14. I think you could. Your linebackers aren't great, Tom. If for some reason LSU's offensive line ends up being the best one you face all year long, and it neutralizes a strength along the defensive front, you could lose this game going away.
That would suppose that your offense is, not able to go down the field and score 30 points.
But I think you could score 30 points and you could lose 41-30 or 40. Yeah.
That's interesting. I don't know that this defense is capable of giving up that many points.
Now we're getting somewhere. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Your local news now.
4 people were shot at the Acasa Ocala apartment complex along 1300
Hey
block.
guys, our next partner is AG1, the daily foundational nutritional supplement that supports whole body health. I drink it quite literally every single day. I began using AG1 because, I'll be honest with you, I don't like to take a bunch of pills and vitamins, and I just wanted something that tastes great, was quick, and easy to remember. So I do it. I do it every morning when I wake up. I certainly have it right after my coffee and before I work out. And I will tell you this, too. It is a simple, effective investment for your health. You can try AG1 and get 5 free AG1 travel packs and a free 1-year supply of vitamin D with your first purchase. Go to drinkag1.com/JCS. Again, that's all you got to do is go to drinkag1.com/JCS. That's drinkag1.com/JCS. Check it out. It's delicious. It's quick. It's easy. It's proven. Vitamins, probiotics, whole food source nutrients. Start your day with it. You'll feel better. I promise.
7 p.m. this evening. A tropical storm warning continues. Chance for scattered storms this afternoon. Otherwise, partly cloudy. High of 95. Winds out of the southeast, 5 to 10 miles per hour. 76 tonight. Chance for scattered storms. Scattered thunderstorms again tomorrow. High of 92. This report is brought to you by The Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Right now, 94.
Let me tell you what T-Spark stands for. It stands for strength, commitment, teamwork, and heart. We don't ever quit until we've got nothing left to give. Our team is unstoppable. Want a guaranteed win? Call T-Spark Enterprises for your next roofing or construction project. We conquer all peaks. TSparkConstruction.com. License number CCC 1331204.
So everybody knows, Eddie, that you are a spectacular cook. Of course they know that. If they go into Bumpa's, the food is always good. I mean, everything on the menu.
Mm-hmm.
Everything at Gordo's is delicious. I always, of course, get the bungalow chungla, as I call it.
The panko lechong, Jeff.
Is that what is the pork?
The panko lechong, Jeff.
Okay, the bungalow chungla. It's delicious. All these things, all the items, everything you do, a master cook. But, sir, I would ask you, what is a skill that you possess that you're particularly proud of, that nobody would know, and that you could share with us here?
Growing hair, Jeff. Growing hair.
You're an asshole.
Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
The Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness. 2 Tallahassee locations, Midtown.
See the reaction of people. It's a fun exercise when you're a gambler to go through with any game that you pick. How can you win it? How can you lose it? What are your reasons? Listing the pros and cons of things kind of helps you make a decision on a side or a total or a half, whatever it might be. I don't think Florida State's going to lose by 14. No, I wasn't making that case. In fact, I think Florida State's going to win the game. I do. I'm picking them to win the game. But it's certainly not crazy to think they could lose it. It's crazy to think they could lose to Syracuse. That's crazy. You're not going to lose to Syracuse. You're just not. So you're not. You would have to try to lose that game.
Agreed. You would have to really try. You'd have to, as I like to say in post-game shows where we've done this, we've invented a way to either make this close or lose this game.
Right.
Yeah.
Turnovers do that. If you turn the ball over, you can make teams that have very little chance of competing with you on an even basis suddenly seem like world beaters. It happens all the time when you turn over the football. But short of that, Florida State, you're right. Player for player, you're going to be all right. Know this, by the way, that no matter what they do in this game on Sunday night, there's going to be an overreaction. If we win the game by 21, the vast majority of this fan base are going to take that to mean we're going to go play for and win a national championship.
I'm here for it.
It's a fun conversation, right? If we lose the game, well, we were never as good as we thought we were. I don't know why you guys thought it was going to be the kind of season that you did. People jumping off a cliff if we lose the game. And I would still argue at that point, neither is true. It's game one. Let's see what happens. I think they're a good team. I'll still think they're a good team if they lose this game on Sunday. I think they're going to have a very good season, even if they lose this game on Sunday. But, if they win it by 21, of course, again, you win and lose games for a reason. Results happen. Things play out by which you can glean whatever you need to about a team through one game. It's one data point. But I'm kind of that road game against Clemson would still be ominous. It would still be a tough game. It's not going to change if we win big. I'm still going to think that that's a very difficult ask.
How much better do you think this team is than last year's team? And week one, you're not fully formed. I get that. But just what you've seen in this camp.
Oh, I think they're a very good team. I think some people are going to be shocked. I will tell you this. It didn't take long for me to arrive at the conclusion that we should be bullish on Florida State's chances this year. Like, how quickly into camp did we come on the airwaves and start talking about they're good, guys. They're good. It didn't take long. I think if we went back and checked the tapes, I think pretty early on, once they put pads on, we went, ooh. Because what you saw from Keon Coleman, like, let's just start there. The fact that you went and got a receiver of that caliber to come here and play opposite of Johnny Wilson, and then he was all that in a bag of chips the second he arrived. When you saw him, you went, "Ooh, okay, that's a problem. Good luck trying to guard this with those two out there at the same time." Then what's the next thing that happened? Well, this Destin Hill kid, we hear so much about him. They waited 2 years on the kid. I better see something. Oh, we saw something.
Yeah, before they put shoulder pads on.
Yeah. I mean, we saw something, and I'll tell you something else. The second you ask people on that team about that kid, their eyes got as big as saucers. They couldn't wait to talk about him because they saw him in workouts. They saw him run. They saw him compete, and they went, ooh, well, this is different. So all of the boxes you needed to check regarding offseason acquisitions, Jeremiah Byers, the first time we saw him, Tom, we went, oh, man. So, there was a lot of reasons for high expectations. We'll carry on the conversation momentarily. Hour number 2 forthcoming. Stay with.
Tallahassee's 30-year-old funny paper and American Legion Post 13 have joined forces to become Major Morale. The new magazine has 4 more pages of post activities and military information that you probably never knew. But don't worry, it's still as politically correct and newsworthy as always. Okay, it's the same funny stuff, but it's still only available at the sponsors' locations like ABC Flooring, Tallahassee Automobile Museum, Krispy Kreme, or Keith Lawson Services, providing professional services and maintenance for your home's most critical systems for over 39 years. If you need air conditioning, heating, or plumbing repairs, you will receive an upfront written quote, and the job will be done on time by the area's most advanced, highly trained professionals. Keith Lawson Services, Florida license CMC 1250-456 and CFC 1429-197.
Widden Glass has been taking care of business since 1945. When you call Widden Glass, you're dealing with experienced, reliable professionals who offer only the best. Like Widden's top-of-the-line bath enclosures that provide style and luxury at an affordable price. Eye-catching storefronts are a specialty at Widden Glass. We'll help you design it and install it. Widden Glass, the first name in glass replacement. Call 222-5781.
Attention radio listeners, this is a Foodies Takeout and Delivery new restaurant alert. Now available for takeout and delivery from foodiestakeout.com. The Hawthorne Bistro, Jerry's Love on a Plate, Coach's Pizza, Munchie's Pizza, Red Eye Coffee, Lofty Pursuits, OG Subs, Dave's Pizza Garage, Sakura Sushi, and many more. Find a complete list of locally owned restaurants offering takeout and delivery at foodiestakeout.com. That's foodiestakeout.com. Don't just shop local, order local.
Power Mill Training Academy equips motivated athletes focused on baseball and softball with the specific tools to reach their true potential. Now, you'll read that if you go to their website, but I'm here to tell you that, look, whether it's your daughter wanting to play softball, your son wants to play baseball, or maybe they just want to have fun and get the most out of their abilities, and that's where Power Mill comes into play. They've got coaches and camps that teach for every level of play for your son or your daughter. To learn more, go to PowerMillSports.com.
There's fun to be had every night at the Corner Pocket. Take home prizes on Trivia Tuesdays and Beer Bingo Thursdays. And kickstart your weekend with Martini Fridays. Plus happy hour runs every weekday and game day specials every time the Noles take the field. Watch all the best games at the Corner Pocket's Vegas Wall, featuring 560 inches of flat screen TV heaven.
Oh, really?
The best food, the best drinks, and the best place to watch all the games. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Coming up next, more of the Jeff Cameron Show. Live and local on Real Talk 93.3. WVFT. Greta Tallahassee. The latest betting odds and line movements from Vegas. This is your action update. Now here are your latest lines from our guys in the desert.
Atlanta Braves in action today on the road to the Rockies. Bryce Elder pitching for Atlanta. Elder 10-4, 3.39 ERA. Braves are the $2.40 road favorite. Austin Gomber for the Rockies plus 200. 12.5 under the total at Coors Field in Denver. College football coming up on Thursday. It's Florida visiting number 14 Utah. Utes are the 7-point favorite at Rice-Eccles Stadium with a total of 46. Also Thursday, UCF a 37-point home favorite against Kent State. On Sunday, LSU a 2.5-point favorite over Florida State at Camping World Stadium. Get your free VSiN subscription right now at VSIN.com. For more sports betting news and information, go to VSIN.com. Mike Son at Real Talk 93.3.
Every piece of land has a story. Some right there is behind the wheel of a John Deere 1 Series tractor, like the Upshaws.
This is my tractor Penny. It's all about attention to detail.
But the Nelsons love cruising around their expansive Montana ranch in their John Deere Gator UV.
We've been here since 1868.
While the Caggianos drive a John Deere zero-turn mower to keep their Long Island brewery looking sharp.
Don't call me. Don't bother me. I'm going out to mow for a couple hours.
Run with us and start telling your story. Learn more at johndeere.com/radio.
Heart failure, carpal tunnel syndrome, shortness of breath, stomach issues, lower back pain. How does it all add up? If you have heart failure and any of those seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, it's time to talk with your cardiologist and get the full picture. They may add up to transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy. ATTRCM is a rare and underdiagnosed disease. Recognize the signs and discuss them with your doctor soon. Learn more at connectwithyourheart.com. That's connectwithyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Hello, Leon County. Let's get ready to win with Ken. I'm Ken Preston. I want to be your next Leon County property appraiser. I'm driven, committed, experienced, and a dedicated community servant. I'm ready to put my experience as a former property appraiser to work to help make a difference for the people of Leon County. Let's go to work. Vote for me. Ken Preston for Leon County Property Appraiser 2024. Win with Ken. A political advertisement by Ken Preston for Leon County Property Appraiser.
Retired or retiring soon? How much money do you need to live comfortably? Retirement Planners of America is here for you. Would you like to have financial peace of mind? Here's how. Step 1. Find out the amount of money you'll need to retire. Step 2. Have a plan to get there. Step 3. Make sure that plan can take advantage of market gains but protect you from market losses. Discover how to do all three with a free consultation at 800-508-6108. That's 800-508-6108.
All investments involve risk, including losses. Past performance does not guarantee future results.
Discover credit cards automatically double all the cash back you earn at the end of your first year, which means, wait, hold up. Question for the audio engineer.
Go ahead.
Did I read that right? Discover automatically doubles all your cash back?
Yeah, that's what the script says.
So if I get a Discover card right now, I can earn twice the cash back.
Apparently. Wait! Unlimited first-year cash back match. Only from Discover. See terms and learn more at discover.com/match.
We all want more energy, more strength, more results. Well, welcome to Orange Theory Fitness as you take a step towards feeling more alive today. Backed by science, Orange Theory's heart rate monitored workout is scientifically designed to keep heart rates in a target zone, spiking metabolism and increasing energy. Orange Theory Fitness is a one-of-a-kind group personal training workout resulting in more energy, visible toning, and extra calorie burn for up to 36 hours. Experience a more vibrant life today with Orange Theory Fitness. To find out more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
Broadcasting live from Florida's capital city, this is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness on Real Talk 93.3. Now, stop what you're doing and listen closely. It's time for the Jeff Cameron Show in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Tom and I discussed it in hour one. Real quick cursory glance here again to start this hour. And I think the only thing that kind of really jumped off the page offensively was the fact that Vendravius Jacobs is not listed there, the wide receiver position, as an option. He's not even an or on this list. That surprised me quite a bit. And we'll find out, I'm sure, as the week goes on, maybe why that is. And then I guess on the defensive side, Tom, did we say we were not shocked, but raised an eyebrow that Jerrion Jones is ahead of Greedy Vance, I guess?
Yeah, honestly, I think Azaria's development has pushed Jerrion closer to the football. I think Jerrion could have been an outside corner for you. He still could be this year. But, if you're looking at the options at nickel or slot defensive back, personally, I would have had Greedy, maybe Edwin Joseph or Jerrion Jones, and then Kevin Knowles could be there in a pinch.
Yeah, in a pinch.
Because Adam Fuller's gone on record and said that he could still slide up and play nickel for us. And Kevin looks to just be so much healthier and more stout physically this year than a year ago.
Much healthier, and I like the camp that he had. The only other thing that surprised me, going back to the offensive side of the ball, Marquiston Douglas was listed behind Kyle Morlock. I find that surprising. Marquiston Douglas has had a great camp. Kind of surprised to see him listed behind Kyle Morlock. Robert Scott starting at left tackle. We get our answer to that question that has plagued the camp, if you will. Like, what are they going to do? Is he going to be ready? What's going to happen? Well, he's ready, and he's looked good since he's come back. And when they took off the training wheels, he played well. I get why he's starting at left tackle, but what that means is that Bless Harris starts the season on the bench. And I'm kind of surprised by that because he's a very good football player who's had a good camp. And I thought there was a chance that he would start at right tackle and you'd slide Jeremiah Byers inside. I think Byers is the better tackle, but I just want to get my best five out there, and I thought that might be the best way to do it. They don't agree. I'm going to trust Alex Atkins. He has been able to get this line to play at a very high level pretty quickly, and they've really been able to make it work even when they didn't have the quality depth that they have now. So they have all of my trust. We'll see how it plays out. But that does mean that Casey Roddick starts at left guard. Your right guard is Dimitri Emmanuel. I'm not going to jump up and down about that. I would have probably maybe even gone with Darius Washington there, but he is listed as an or.
Yeah, I think the starters in the offensive line are your best run blocking group, without a doubt. I think you could phase some other guys in for pass pro.
Agreed.
And I'll try to do this without getting the lewd gibberish in everybody's head, but I think there's a lot of moving parts here. It would not surprise me if Bless Harris rotates in at either tackle position. That's why he's listed in bold. I think that they could do some rotations. Alex Atkins has said as much, that they're in a unique position this year where they could rotate. And then the second thing would be, this is not something we've seen in camp, but I still wonder if one of those three tackles is going to play guard.
At some point, yeah.
Yes, they did it with Jazz last year, and we didn't see that in practice. So it's always in the back of my mind. It continues to be, even though this is the way they lay out the two deep.
So Florida State, Destin Hill, we did mention that being listed as a starter is crazy. We waited for that kid, and it looks like the payoff is great because he's going to play right here, right now against LSU to start the season. Who might also play? Well, we don't know, but Darrell Jackson, maybe, tick, tick, tick. We're waiting, actually, I think, more than anything, on whether or not Tez Walker gets the go-ahead from the NCAA. Now, if you don't know, Tez Walker is a wide receiver that is attempting to play for the University of North Carolina. He is expected to receive word from the NCAA today. Might happen during the show. And I'm watching this carefully because the Tar Heels seem to have some optimism. If you go to ESPN, there was a report that came out that suggested they were optimistic that Walker would be ruled eligible to play for the 2023 season. And so you go back to Tez Walker's situation, and here's why it applies to Darrell Jackson. Both of these guys enrolled at their schools in a way that predated the NCAA's announcement of a much more stringent eligibility rule that they were going to enforce. The NCAA prior to that was pretty much letting anybody go anywhere that they wanted to for a variety of reasons. They really didn't pack the punch they once had, the NCAA, but the COVID season and all that other stuff really kind of allowed guys to just transfer whenever they wanted, wherever they wanted, multiple times. But these guys transferred to their current schools before the NCAA came out and said, we're changing it back. We're not allowing people just to go willy-nilly wherever the hell they want to go multiple times. So if they give Tez Walker the go-ahead, it stands to reason they're going to have to give Darrell Jackson the go-ahead.
And the report is from College Game Day, oddly enough, on Saturday. The reporter formerly known as Pete Thamel, now known as Pete Thamel, has said that there is optimism, but it's far from a certainty because it's the NCAA and North Carolina doesn't know. But, I mean, North Carolina, if anybody's got a bat phone to the NCAA, it certainly is Chapel Hill and the University of North Carolina. And if there's optimism, I just don't see, and I would agree with you, that one follows the other. How could you allow this kid
You couldn't.
And deny Darrell?
No, you couldn't. And they're already receiving a lot of heat for this. It would really get loud if that were to happen. If Tez got the go-ahead and Jackson did not. It doesn't make any sense. I think that if Tez Walker gets a yes, Darrell Jackson is going to get a yes.
Agreed.
And I think, and if that happens, now they're talking about that update perhaps happening today. We may know by the time we finish the show or later this afternoon whether or not Darrell Jackson's a go. And I'll only say this about that. If he's a go, he's going to start. If he's a go, he's going to start. He's been good in camp. He's worked hard. He's practiced every day. He's been a tough guy to block, and he looks motivated. He'll be ready to go.
Yeah, and I you know what? This doesn't violate the practice policy because, the kids walk in with the black uniforms who are the scout team. He has not been on scout team.
No, he's been amongst the rotation at defensive tackle for the starters.
I find that fascinating. I find that to be a sign of confidence, but
I took it that way too, Tom. When you and I walked in the stadium and looked out there on Saturday night, and he wasn't in a black jersey representing the scout team, we actually looked at each other because I think simultaneously we thought, what do they know that we don't?
Yeah, I agree. He would serve the scout team more. He would serve the scout team better. The offense, the first team, to go against him. Wouldn't you think in Corey's parlance about iron sharpening iron?
Yeah, sure.
I mean, okay, let's see what happens. And Mike Norvell did say in the press conference today that he feels much more confident about where Darrell is in terms of engagement. He feels fully confident that he's ready if he gets cleared before the LSU game. He feels fully confident if he's cleared before game 8, that Darrell's going to be ready. With what we've seen with our own eyes in practice, he's ready.
Oh, he's ready. It'll be curious to see what happens in that situation. I know that there have been debates about that situation being different. I actually, it's more compelling for Darrell Jackson to get the waiver.
It is.
I mean, if we're talking about reasons.
I mean, well, it was always legitimate in terms of you have how many cases? Is it 7, 10, 12 that are like this in which the kid is already enrolled? If the NCAA wanted to be proactive about this, they would have set forth those guidelines before the spring semester started so the kids could have turned around. But they didn't. And so they've got to live with that. The NCAA does. But the problem is you can say that, and it makes perfect sense, and it does. But the NCAA doesn't have to abide by perfect common sense.
And they never do.
No.
Really quickly, how much football did you watch over the weekend? All of it?
A sizable chunk of it.
Yeah,
yes.
me too.
Outside of us going to practice.
That's correct. Notre Dame Navy, one takeaway here, besides the fact that the Estime kid is a giant. Holy moly. I would not want to tackle that dude.
No.
That is 250 pounds of badassery. No need to tackle him.
They kept him fresh, too, because they didn't need him for very long.
No, they didn't. All right, so that game got away from Navy in a hurry. But I do want to point something out. And it's always this way in week 1. And I'm not saying he's not good. And I'm not saying he's not an upgrade. I am saying stop. I almost got us in trouble. Stop massaging Sam Hartman's ego, please. Do we need you to tell me just how great he was in a game against Navy? It was never contested. They could run the ball at will. He threw for 250 yards. He wasn't great. He just didn't do anything wrong in the easiest game he'll play all year long. They ran the ball anytime they wanted. Of course, guys are open.
And he missed a shot play early in that game, too. So.
I don't have a problem with Sam Hartman. I don't like that he's played football for 15 years. But, yes, I expected him to be better, and he was better. And he's a good college quarterback. The reason he's in his 6th year is because he knows he's probably not going to be a good pro quarterback. He's going to have to make his money in college. That's fine. But when my man throws for 250, yes, 4 touchdowns, I get it. It's Navy. I'm not trying, again, I don't have a problem with him. His quarterback rating was nearly 100 in this game. But they prattled on like he was God's gift to quarterbacks in this game. Like, Navy was not equipped to do anything with him.
It's also NBC, so it's the home feed.
God,
and they've got to wake the echoes every waking minute that they can. Maybe caught up in the moment, maybe a little bit of a Guinness hangover, who knows? But next year, I'm just hoping that our game with Georgia Tech looks just like that.
An ass kicking, yes.
Just a total ass kicking. And maybe people around the country would say, can we stop with Brock Glenn? Look,
I'm tired of you guys talking about Brock Glenn.
It was Georgia Tech, guys.
Right.
You're going to give him the Heisman?
Yeah. Well, it was funny. It wasn't just NBC. I listened to the wrap-ups, if you will, around college football, and they were on and on and on. Sam Hartman certainly looks the part. We knew Notre Dame was going to be better at quarterback, but look, this Sam Hartman. Jesus, guys.
You know what?
Navy.
Notre Dame's right about everything. The ACC should fork over money. You know what? They don't even need the extra money. Give more money to Stanford. Give them $50 million a year. Notre Dame is right about everything.
It was the easiest 19 of 23 he'll ever have.
Yes.
I mean, good God. Poor Navy. It's going to be a long year at Navy, by the way.
It's terrible to see.
That's a tough time at Navy time.
Look forward to December.
Although I will give Navy's coach credit. That is a badass beard.
It is. Yep.
That is a badass beard. That white, he looks tough. Their team's terrible. And they scored 3 points and got beat 42-3. It did not match the coolness of his beard.
They've got a fullback. They do. And they've got a good triple option offense in theory. But they're trying to transition out of it. And you can tell they're kind of betwixt.
Don't transition out of it, damn it. Somebody should always be running the triple option. It should be mandated that you have to run the triple option if you're a military school. Let's go.
They could have dropped, 17 or 20 on Notre Dame if everything broke right.
But they were drive. They're going to score, and the dumbass runs into his own receiver.
Well, that's quite the scheme.
I mean, how does that happen? You're both in the same spot. It's fourth down. He's going to walk in if he hits him in stride. Yeah. The whole thing.
But that defense would have given up 90 if they gave up 20. If they scored 20,
they would have.
Notre Dame could have just,
anything they wanted.
The Mike Norvell Miami plan. Just the same play,
over and over and over again. And they had to commit bodies to try to tackle this freaking Hulk of a running back. Navy's always undersized. I felt so bad for him. The second I saw that kid, I was like, oh, no. This is not going to be a good day for Navy. This might be a tough day for Alabama tackling that kid. Navy got no shot.
One of the runs, too, they misaligned on the touchdown.
Yeah.
It's just, why are we even playing? That's what it felt like after the snap. Oh, why are we even doing this?
They did not look well prepared.
Just call it off. Call it off. You made it to Ireland. You did the hard part. Enjoy the day.
You can't have a beard like that and look that terrible. Get it together, Navy. Go at least be organized like your beard. You put a lot of time in that thing. It looks good. Yeah. Let's go. Get your squad ready to play.
If you see a coach with that kind of a beard, run. Because who else has a beard that is that good?
I don't know.
Lovie Smith.
Oh, Lovie's is good. Yeah.
Run for the hills.
Yeah. But Lovie's not the head coach.
He was with that beard.
He was. It's the Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Tax-free days are over. Over everywhere but Fulmer's, that is. Now through Labor Day, we're going to pay the sales tax on everything you're buying at Fulmer's. And to keep it simple, Fulmer's will pay the sales tax on everything at both locations. Bikes, TVs, lawn equipment, tools, watches, jewelry, laptops, and Apple products. If it's in our store, you'll buy it and pay no tax. You'll pay no tax on many items that are already marked down, some as much as 70% off. Hurry to either Fulmer's location and pay no tax through the end of the month.
Fulmer's, more than you might expect.
With 2 great locations. This is Alex from Fulmer's. We've been buying gold and silver jewelry, fine watches, and other collectibles for over 45 years. But did you know Fulmer's buys and sells gold and silver coins, bars, and bullion? Don't get scammed online or pay high shipping and handling fees. Call or stop by Fulmer's for a quick and easy quote. No matter if you're new to investing in bullion or have been collecting a lifetime, Fulmer's is your local source for buying, selling gold and silver coins and bullion. Fulmer's, more than you might expect, with 2 great locations.
He's keeping you comfortable. This is Kyle, Service Manager from Barano Heating and Air. Schedule an appointment from your mobile device to learn about our Total Comfort Service Program. With guaranteed same-day service, 15% off necessary repairs, and $25 berry books to use towards air filters and other products. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Barano Heating and Air. Any day, anytime, anywhere. Online at baranoac.com.
Florida license CAC 1816-186.
I can walk again. I can cross my legs again. I can wear heels again.
After years of living with chronic joint pain, Andrea Southern is now living a normal life, pain-free, thanks to natural biologic treatments at QC Kinetics.
We tried everything. And my husband had heard the commercial for QC Kinetics on the radio, and he told me to call him and check it out.
That phone call changed Andrea's life. QC Kinetics used powerful natural biologics to treat her aching joints. It's high-tech precision medicine that can restore and repair damaged joint tissue with no surgery and no drugs, providing lasting relief.
I felt like I was in my 20s again. I could tie my own shoes. Really the little things that you don't think about.
Pain in your hips, knees, back, shoulders? Get rid of the pain now. Call QC Kinetics.
850-391-4280. That's 850-391-4280. QC Kinetics. 850-391-4280.
Crawfordville Auto and Tires remix, y'all.
Crawfordville Auto Repair and Tires.
Automotive service, there is no one finer.
Tires and struts and racks and pinions. ASE certified technicians. 12-month, 12K guarantee. Same-day service usually. Engine rebuilds done complete. Brakes and shots, that's no small feat. Keep your AC blowing cool. CV joints and emissions too. Open weekdays till 6 at night. Give them a chance, they'll treat you right. Crawfordville Auto Repair and Tires. 2170 Crawfordville Highway, Crawfordville, Florida.
Attention radio listeners, this is a Foodies Takeout and Delivery new restaurant alert. Now available for takeout and delivery from foodiestakeout.com. The Hawthorne Bistro, Jerry's Love on a Plate, Coach's Pizza, Munchie's Pizza, Red Eye Coffee, Lofty Pursuits, OG Subs, Dave's Pizza Garage, Sakura Sushi, and many more. Find a complete list of locally owned restaurants offering takeout and delivery at foodiestakeout.com. That's foodiestakeout.com. Don't just shop local, order local.
We all want more energy, more strength, more results. Well, welcome to Orange Theory Fitness as you take a step towards feeling more alive today. Backed by science, Orange Theory's heart rate monitored workout is scientifically designed to keep heart rates in a target zone, spiking metabolism and increasing energy. Orange Theory Fitness is a one-of-a-kind group personal training workout resulting in more energy, visible toning, and extra calorie burn for up to 36 hours. Experience a more vibrant life today with Orange Theory Fitness. To find out more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
Welcome back to the Jeff Cameron Show, sponsored by Legendary Home Loans, a mortgage experience designed around speed, simplicity, and customer service. Before you buy your next home, contact our friend Shannon Young with Legendary Home Loans. Visit FSUHomeLoans.com. FSUHomeLoans.com.
Everybody, kickoff sale is the answer, Jeff. We're doing a kickoff sale, 50% off a new annual subscription to warchant.com. Let's go. Limited time. Don't you start. Don't you say anything limited, nothing.
You put it in my brain. That time
I saw a look on your face. I said, oh, he instantly thought about it.
No, I didn't this time.
I don't know about that.
Matthew put it on the screen.
50% off, everybody. Kickoff sale, 50% off. Stop. He's going to suck again this year. It's going to be hilarious when Denver sucks because he sucks again.
And then maybe we could talk about Sean Payton honestly.
So 50% off, do that. You know what you do? While you're in line at Zaxby's, grabbing a chicken sandwich.
And I will be.
The thick cut pickles, the Zax spicy Zax sauce, the delicious, juicy chicken. While you're sitting there waiting on that sandwich to be given to you as you go through the line.
What are you going to do with that bun?
Split top.
Split right at the top.
right after you do it, right after you place the order, just turn on your phone and say, and you know what? Now I'm going to get a 50% off Warchant.com subscription. That's what I'm going to do. It has been a good Monday, damn it.
We'll see if Brian added that, but he was already at the Zaxby's. He wanted to let us know.
Nicely done, Brian. Just stopped by Zaxby's and got me a big old chicken sandwich. Good job. Really quickly, if you're looking for your neighborhood Zaxby's here in Tallahassee, 64 locations. Can't miss it. Probably drive past 7 of them on your way home. Easily. Garrett got a Zax salad yesterday. You had a good Sunday, Garrett. Optimus Climb, that's well done. Jeff stays splitting buns. That's well done.
Glad the radio audience got that.
Chicken stealing Croots for over 18 years.
Otherwise, they would have wondered, what did Optimus say?
283 locations on campus alone. Good job, Noel Dad. That's true. Yeah, you get over there at FSU, you start walking around, you're like, man, there's a Zaxby's right here everywhere I look. It's great.
I'm at the Zaxby's.
Which one?
Williams. Which floor?
By the way, Thursday, when we do Redemption Thursday, which I'm pumped about, we're going to lock it in. I'll have my 10 games. I may do a juicy, speaking of juicy, Zaxby's chicken, I may do 20 games this Thursday.
Ooh,
well, I'm off to a 3-0 start. I'm playing with house money. May do maybe 20 games.
You got the USC result?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I took plus 30.5.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You did.
San Jose State. That's what I'm talking about.
Would have been an even easier cover if, special teams was.
I know.
Just kick the ball out of bounds.
I know. Ridiculous. So, yeah, I was happy about that. Got that result that I needed. Got the Hawaii Vanderbilt result that I needed. That game was good. 35-28. Did you watch it?
I got into the third quarter, and then the eyes got a little heavy.
A little sleepy?
Yeah, because of the delay. It was a long delay.
Yeah, a long delay. You got to train your body this time of year to be able to stay up late.
It sucks.
It's hard.
Transitioning from the morning person to the evening person. I don't like it, but I will do it for college football.
For college football, I'll do it. For football, I try to do it in general, but I still have to get up every morning at 6 o'clock. So you're just going to be tired. It's the tough, you know what I mean?
Well,
what are you going to do?
This is, you know what? You're in the final few months of having to do that because then you have an older brother who's got a car to take his younger brother everywhere.
Yeah, well, yes, that is correct. I'm good to go once November rolls around. Bryce is driving, and there we go.
Then Clark can go to school with mom, for the rest of the semester, and he just has to go early.
Well, the good news is if Bryce is taking himself to school starting in November,
also known as Dovember,
and we're bringing him back. Lee Sterling will join us on Friday, by the way. He confirmed via email. Thursday, I said Redemption Thursday, 20 games. Yeah. But one of them is Utah, Florida, ladies and gents. That's this Thursday at 8 o'clock. Hot damn. That's a good day. Redemption Thursdays, W's and L's, and Utah hosting Florida? What a Thursday.
I don't know if we'll have enough time.
Well, there is no more Bed Bath & Beyond.
It is gone to the great beyond.
It is gone. It is gone. And, I falsely felt a sense of longing when they closed. And I probably visited Bed Bath & Beyond once in the last 4 years.
I had a gift certificate there, and I should have used it.
Everybody does. They delivered them weekly in the paper. Yeah. We went when it was closing. I was like, oh, one last trek around Bed Bath & Beyond. And I was like, you're not going to miss it. Why are you thinking you're going to miss it? You're not going to miss it. I don't want to miss my chance to talk to our good buddy, Irashafel, Warchant.com. He's on with us, as he's wont to do on a Monday. What's up, brother?
I'm good, Jeff. How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good. It's game week. We're excited. Let's get to it. I didn't ask your opinions yet. I want to hear from you what you thought of the depth chart. What stood out to you most? What did you find curious? There's a couple of options to go with here. One of them's at wide receiver, but what say you, sir?
Yeah, no, I don't think there was any. There were a couple of surprises, but nothing crazy. I was a little surprised by Morlock getting the start over Marquise Douglas.
Yep.
not that, I mean, I think they're both good quality options, and I think Mike Norvell was pretty quick to say that, look, those guys are all going to play. But, it's a nod to Kyle Morlock, and I think, and I'm actually writing this, and one of my takeaways from the day is that, that transfer class, they pretty much hit on all of them, which hasn't been the case. Mike Norvell's gotten a lot of credit for what he's done in the transfer portal, but I don't know that they've had a year where they pretty much hit on everybody. But I think they have. I mean, I think there's 6 or 7 of those transfers who are going to start, and then a couple of the guys who aren't going to start, I think are number 2 guys at their position that may end up starting at some point during the season. And the only exception, the only transfer who's not on the 2 deep is Daryl Jackson, and he would be if he was eligible.
Yeah, and we're waiting to see what happens with Tez Walker at North Carolina from the NCAA today. They seemed, at least there was a report from ESPN, to be hopeful. It was my thought, I said earlier in the show, Ira, so I'll just ask you as well. If Tez Walker is granted his waiver, do we not think that will stand for Daryl Jackson too?
You would think so. I mean, it's always hard to, start applying logic to the NCAA, but the smartest thing for them to do, for them to save face and also do the right thing, would be any of those guys, and Daryl Jackson would fall into this as well as Walker, any of those guys that were in the portal and then started at their new school before that ruling came down in January, those guys should be grandfathered in. It shouldn't be held against them that the NCAA decided to crack down after they had already made the move. So I feel like that would make sense. But, we all know how that goes.
Yeah, and I told everybody last hour, but just to refresh people's memories, the NCAA instituted their new standard in mid-January, and he, along with several other players around the country, I say several others, a handful of players around the country, had already entered the portal in December and arrived at their new schools before that standard changed from the NCAA. So, yes, that's what you're referencing there. So on the defensive side of the ball, was there anything that stood out to you? It looks, I would ask you, I kind of thought Greedy Vance would be ahead of Jerrion Jones based on what we've seen, but I like Jerrion Jones. It's not a knock on him at all. Anything stand out to you on that side of the ball?
I think that's probably more than anything just a really tip of the cap to Jerrion Jones. He's a guy that I think really came on late last season and has become just a key leader for this team, and I think that's rewarding him for that as well. I think those guys I think Greedy Vance is probably going to get the edge there, but I think they probably want to reward Jerrion Jones for what he's done. Interestingly enough, like Jared Verse said at ACC kickoff that Jerrion Jones was one of the guys that really convinced other guys to come back this season. So again, I think it's a nod to that. The one I think that, pretty surprising to me was that, well, surprising and not surprising. I actually wrote the other day that I thought it wouldn't surprise me if DJ Lundy won one of the starting linebacker jobs, but to actually see it in print, see him as listed as a co-starter with Kalen DeLoach is impressive. Again, you had 2 starters. Kalen DeLoach has basically started for 2 years, and DJ Lundy's been a backup, and it wouldn't shock me if he won that job. And it's again, I think just seeing it in print was impressive to see how far he's come.
Give him credit, no doubt. A lot of people have asked us, and so I'll ask you, and I've said to people we have to be delicate. Jumping back over to the offensive side of the ball, obviously when you're looking at the receivers, it's huge news to see Destin Hill there, or Winston Wright, obviously, but Destin Hill being the freshman, they waited so long on him. He's had a great camp, so that's exciting. But also, it is disconcerting not to see Vendravius Jacobs anywhere.
Yeah, he did have a great spring. But look, man, I think that the guys that are ahead of him have probably been more consistent and more dependable in preseason camp. None of these things, I think one thing we've learned from this coaching staff is they are pretty true to what they say. And if you're not consistent and if you're not, meeting all of your obligations, they're not going to reward you. And I think that this is a sign that, he's got to make up some ground on some of these other guys. And I think there's no doubt he's talented. There's no doubt that he can make plays, but I think there could be a message being sent there that, hey, you had a great spring, but fall's a little bit different, and you've got to step it up to pass these guys.
How you feeling on Monday of game week, brother? What do you think for Florida State fans that want to know? I know tonight you guys will do the smash. It'll be good, you and Tom, and People can tune in and listen to you guys' thoughts on this game, but I got to ask you here for the purposes of this week on the JCS, what do you think? You feeling good still about Florida State to win this game handily?
I feel confident that they're going to win it. I don't know about handily, but I do think I've been growing in confidence about this game, and it's hard to know exactly because we don't get to see LSU day to day. But even doing that, I put up a story on the site early this morning, looking at the transfers that they brought in this offseason, and they brought in a lot of transfers. I think Florida State's quality of transfers is higher, and I think Florida State was a better team last year, so. I'm pretty confident Florida State's going to win this game, and I haven't seen anything to make me change that.
Is there an aspect of the game that you think either a player maybe or could be a side of the ball that you think the Florida State fans might be surprised by?
I really think the passing game. We've made so much about Mike Norvell and his love of the running game, and Alex Atkins and the physicality and the things they've done in the running game, and it's been their bread and butter. But man, you look at this receiving core, you look at these tight ends, you look at the way Jordan Travis is playing, and if LSU's, a lot of teams are going to want to take away the running game. That's what most teams want to do, especially early in the season. If they are really committed to that, and they are suspect on the back end, which I think they might be suspect on the back end, I think this passing game could be really impressive.
Anything stand out from the coaches' today's pressers with the coordinators? Anything that the coaches had to say that surprised you, or anything that you thought intriguing?
Nothing really surprising. I think that I thought one thing that was interesting was Adam Norvell saying, or excuse me, Adam Fuller. I combined them. Adam Fuller saying that he and Mike Norvell both came out of this camp feeling like this was one of the best camps they've ever been around. And look, this is the best team either one of them has ever coached, I think you'd say. Mike's Memphis teams were really good, but I think this top to bottom should be a better team than he had at Memphis. So it stands to reason, but I think it kind of goes to what we've all said watching practice, you and Tom and I and everybody else, that there really haven't been any bad days. And this is a group that's very professional, very workmanlike, but also there's a high quality of play. And that's a really good combination. And I think hearing them say that, kind of validates, I think, what we all thought.
I think you're spot on. They feel like a professional football team in a weird way because their best players are also great leaders, and they hold people accountable, and people get in line. It's going to be fun to watch this team play football. Ira, talk to you soon, brother. Be good.
Can't wait. Thanks, Jeff.
Yep. Yeah, it's going to be fun. Ira hit on a point we've made before, we all have, as he alluded to, but it's worth noting again. One of the cool things about this team is that they practice hard, they play hard, they hold each other accountable, and their best players are their best leaders. That's not always the case. Sometimes you have a player who's really, really good at playing football, but is kind of a jerk and is into himself and doesn't really think about his teammates. And he's so good that you got to play him because he's a difference maker. But the best scenarios, obviously, are when your unquestionably best player, caliber player, is also your best leader, hardest worker, the one that talks guys up, helps them out when they're having a tough day. And it's not one guy that does that with this team. It's all of those guys. They do a good job of that. Even, the transfers, and pretty much all of them are. But Keon Coleman has been here for an hour, and he's already one of the best leaders on the team. He does a great job of teaching and encouraging and picking guys up after a bad rep, whatever it might be, right? Or showing them what they could do better. You see it all the time. I feel like they've gotten a lot out of every one of these guys. When you watch Byers, the way that he works in practice and as a transfer, this is a guy that comes in and immediately did a really good job of fitting into that locker room and becoming, kind of a guy you could depend on every day at practice. And I just feel like every guy that they've brought in these roles, these crucial roles, they've hit on. Braden Fisk practices like a warrior every day. Every day. Like you almost have to calm him down.
Yeah, there was a moment on Saturday towards the end of practice where they're lined up and they're going through one-on-ones, and they do kind of 2-on-2s after. And it's to see how the offensive line can pass things off. And, Adam Fuller's very good at diagnosing up twists and games and stunts and things of that nature for the D-line. So Fisk just explodes off the line of scrimmage and rams Armella because I think he's trying to free something up without getting into too many specifics. But it is on the opposite 15-yard line. You remember where we were sitting on Saturday. We're sitting on the 30, closer to the student section. So what do you think that is as the crow flies? 80 yards?
Yeah.
75 yards away? And the pad pop was uncomfortable. You're just like, oh, my God. The density of the smack. I mean, that dude has the capability of bulldozing you, being quick enough to elude you, setting the edge, rushing the passer from the inside. I mean, he's just – if he is anywhere close against an LSU offensive line to what we've seen in this camp, you've got another game changer on the defensive line. Just full stop.
I think the way to describe that to people, Tom, is that we didn't know what we had. He was coming from Western Michigan. You hoped he would be a good football player. If you went back and watched him at Western Michigan, he was a good football player, but you thought, I don't know about the competition day in, day out. Tough to really know. Then he got hurt, so he was battling injuries and recovering and rehabbing. He missed basically all of spring. I mean, he was out there every day, but he couldn't practice, and he was just doing agility drills and endurance drills and those kinds of things. But he watched intently, and then this fall camp, we got a chance to see him, and from day one, you were almost taken aback by his athleticism. His burst is really noticeable.
And the violence.
Very violent player. For that body type to be that violent and that fast, you can't help but think he's a legitimate first 2-round guy. Like, he feels like an NFL football player to me. Like, I didn't think it was going to be that. I thought he was going to help you. I thought he was going to be a good football player. But when you watch him right now, you think, well, that's an NFL football player, like a good one.
Yeah, and typically when you have the quicks, you're undersized. But he's not. He's 6'5", 297. And he carries that. It almost looks undersized, but the height.
No, he's big. He's a big dude.
He's a giant.
Yeah, he's a big dude. He's too athletic for a guy that size. That's frightening. I'd hate to play quarterback and see that dude coming at me.
Right. The quickness is, I would, before I saw him, I would have said, I expect Dennis Briggs to look that quick because he's a tweener of a lineman. And then this guy is just maybe about 5% larger as a human being. And he's got all those same tools. And I think he's more violent. He's next to Jared Verse. When Jared decides, he's the most uncomfortably violent guy on the line. Like Fabian can be, but Fabian's quick. He's got quick hands and he'll get his hands off of you. Just when Braden decides, it's something to behold.
I love it. Yeah, they got some nastiness to him now. That's why expectations are as high as they are.
Then again, Darrell Jackson's more violent than any of them if he can be eligible to play.
Well, God help offensive lines everywhere if Darrell Jackson gets his eligibility with this group. It's a wave of ass kickers coming at you at that point. You will have radically shifted your defensive line.
That could become one of the great defensive lines in this program's history. And this program's had a lot of really good ones if that dude's eligible.
Yeah, it's impressive. I don't like to think about it. I don't like to dream about it because I feel like we're going to get screwed over by the NCAA. Jeff Cameron Show 93.3 Real Talk Radio Warchant TV.
Your local news now.
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis signed an executive order Saturday issuing a state of emergency for 33 counties in the state ahead of a possible landfall from Tropical Storm Idalia. The declaration of the emergency was done to help mobilize response teams within the state's government. Florida's Attorney General Ashley Moody also activated the state's price gouging hotline in response to the declaration. The hotline is used as a way for residents to report extreme price increases on essential commodities needed to prepare for the storm. If you have seen price gouging, call 866-966-7226. To report it. Sandbag locations are opening up in the Big Bend ahead of the storm. You will need to bring your own shovels to fill bags. Locations will not be staffed, but there will be crews around to help provide bags if needed. Sites are located at Mike Blankenship Skate Park, Northwood Center, Northeast Branch Library, Appalachia Regional Park, Fred George Park, and the intersection of Oak Ridge Road and Ranchero Road. This is Rachel Anay with your Real Talk 93.3 Local News Update, brought to you by Macklemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at MaclemoreSystems.com.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. A heat advisory continues until 7 p.m. this evening. A tropical storm warning continues. Partly cloudy this afternoon with a chance for scattered thunderstorms. High of 95, southeast winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. 76 tonight, chance for scattered thunderstorms. Scattered thunderstorms again tomorrow. High of 92. This report is brought to you by the Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Right now, 97.
Someone who thought texting was a better idea than stopping for a traffic light slams into your rear bumper. Now your back is injured and you've got to be at work and rehab all without a car. I'm Dana Brooks of Basic Brooks Law Offices, and we hear stories like this every day. You shouldn't pay for someone else's mistake. Call us at 850-777-7777 and we'll make sure you come back stronger.
So everybody knows, Eddie, that you are a spectacular cook. Of course they know that. If they go into Bumpa's, the food is always good. I mean, everything on the menu.
Mm-hmm.
Everything at Gordo's is delicious. I always, of course, get the bungalow chungla, as I call it.
The bungalow chung, Jeff.
Is that what is the pork?
The bungalow chung, Jeff.
Okay, the bungalow chungla. It's delicious. All of these things, all the items, everything you do, a master cook. But, sir, I would ask you, what is a skill that you possess that you're particularly proud of, that nobody would know, and that you could share with us here?
Growing hair, Jeff. Growing hair.
You're an asshole. Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
The Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness. 2 Tallahassee locations, Midtown on Thomasville Road and Northside in the Village Common Shopping Center. Online at orangetheoryfitness.com.
And at Hooch and watching the game. Go Noles. Yeah, that's right. We will be there. Really quickly, by the way, Tom, while we're talking about promotions, if you would pop up the Battles In 50% off, I want to let everybody know the opportunity still exists for you guys out there to sign up for the golf tournament. It's at Champions Gate National Golf Course in Orlando. Use code TBE50 for 50% off your group of 4 for the Saturday, September the 2nd shotgun start at 9 a.m. Signups begin at 7:30 a.m. It is the Battles In season kickoff golf tournament. And included with that, and you're getting it for 50% off because you're a listener to the Jeff Cameron Show. That's right. That's what we do. It includes VIP admission to an evening event there and tickets to Madison Social's tailgate on Sunday. So,
VIP pass.
There it is. You want to join the Battles In and play in this golf tournament, help us with roster retention and acquisition, if you will. Go to thebattlesend.com. Thebattlesend.com. But also sign up for this golf tournament. Use the promo code TBE50 for 50% off your group of 4. There you go. Saving money, helping out the Battles In, playing golf in Orlando on a Saturday morning, getting after it, and then watching Florida State beat LSU on Sunday. That's not going to suck. We will be at Hooch. You're going down Thursday, I think, right?
Assuming that the storm passes and roads are, the whole thing. If the storm didn't exist, I'd be down Thursday night probably. Yeah.
Leon County schools are indeed closed. Noel Dad, thanks for noting that in the chat. I was just about to go there as it's my civic duty, right? We got to give you the information as we get it. Well, they just announced that Leon County schools are closed on Wednesday. They are probably going to be, I think, open Thursday, but it just looks like Wednesday's really being affected, and there will be no after-school activities tomorrow.
That's correct. For now, they said they will address Thursday if it changes, if the status gets worse for the city in the area, the county. But right now, schools are only closed on Wednesday. Open tomorrow, closed Wednesday, open Thursday.
The JCS will not be at Hooch's on Friday. Tom may be. But
Tom Lang will be.
Tom Lang will be there testing the equipment. I will be here doing the show with him as he will be on his computer there trying to make sure everything works and do all that good stuff. But I'm not getting down to Orlando until late that night, late Friday night. I'm going to my son's football game in Gainesville.
Well, that's one reason to go.
That's the only reason, really. But yeah, we'll. They won over the weekend, by the way. They won on Friday, so Leon's off to a good start.
Undefeated Leon Lions.
There you go. Beat North Florida Christian. It was a great game, 31-23. It was a fun game. There you go.
You are now going to be a high school football fan for the next 5 to 6 years.
I'm a fan of Leon and my son.
You're going to be checking the district standings, all of it.
No. I did check. I guess I'm lying.
Anytime they kick it off under the lights at Gene Cox Stadium, I'll tell you.
No, it was at Leon, by the way, and not Gene Cox Stadium. We don't need to go out to Gene Cox Stadium. That stadium sucks. There's no reason. People are so damn proud of that stadium. It's garbage.
This reminds me of those Friday high school shows in the morning that we used to have on the old place of employment. And there were about 5 cliches that they would always use, because I'm not sure how much prep any of those hosts ever did.
No, they don't.
In fact, they probably did no prep. But anytime you kick it off under the lights at Gene Cox Stadium, you never know what's going to happen. It's the throw the records out.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, of course. You know what? It had been a long time since I sat at, this is kind of funny. It had been a long, long time since I sat in the stands of a high school football game. I shouldn't say that. I went back when they honored the 10-0 Lakewood team that I was on, and we got to walk the track, and they wave at everybody and all that a couple of years ago. That was cool to see the fellas again. But so I sat in the stands for that game because it was a playoff game for Lakewood. But other than that, it had been a real, real long time since I had bothered to go to a high school game because I just had no reason to. But now you'll find me there Friday nights.
Yep.
On the regular.
Through the year 2028 or thereabouts.
Oh, with Clark as well? Yeah, you're right.
Isn't that a great thought? Aren't you excited?
No, it's not a great thought. I don't ride the officials live spectator. I don't say anything. I kind of slink off in the distance and just watch the game quietly. I don't.
You were not thrilled about a call on Thursday, though. You didn't ride the official for it, but at the JV game.
Yeah, there were a couple of frustrating.
Yeah.
But I mean, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? I don't flip out. I don't flip out. Oddly, I'm really calm at my kids' games. I'm calmer at their games than I am anything else that I'm have a vested interest in.
Certainly not Miami weekend.
No, like Florida State, Miami. I'm emotionally invested. I'm prone to yelling, jumping, screaming, all those things. But for my kids' games, I'm just steady. I just watch and making sure they're playing as hard as they can.
If you know Jeff for any period of time, just stay out of his radius of his reach at Indigo when we're at Hotel Indigo for that pregame. He will karate chop your traps.
I haven't done that in years. I cannot, like, this week is weird. We've waited for this week all year long. And I hate this week in a weird way. It's a hard week to do shows because I'm just so excited about the game, to see them play. We've gone to a million practices, it feels like. We've really analyzed this team backwards and forwards as much as you can without having seen them play somebody else. You can only break down segment groups in each practice so much before you need more evidence. You need something different. You need to analyze something that is them going against players that are of their equal talent, and also players that, for example, our offense frequently has problems in practice, partly because the defense knows what's coming. They've seen all of these plays a gazillion times. Like, I want to see, how does LSU react to this play? I know what my defense in practice is going to do. They've seen it 50 times. They cheat. They know what this play is. LSU doesn't.
Yeah. And also Jared Verse is on the field for our defense.
Man.
So if Jared's not on the field, can we operate and do some things a little differently?
Watching Jared Verse is just, it's
an NFL player.
He is remarkable.
He's playing a day early every week, except this week.
How the hell did it get to be this late in the show?
Oh yeah, we're running out of time.
I got to go to probables, don't I? Do we have time? We were supposed to have another break, weren't we?
No, we're on schedule.
Okay.
But 2 minutes.
All right, make it quick.
It's time for, how you say, with the pitching, probables?
PowerMillSports.com. Angels, Phillies, Lucas Giolito, Tawan Walker. Yankees, Tigers, Luis Severino, Reese Olson. White Sox, Orioles, Michael Kopech, Grayson Rodriguez. Washington and the Blue Jays, that would be Josiah Gray and Kevin Gosman. We got the Astros and the Red Sox, Christian Javier, Chris Sale. Rangers, Mets. Ooh, that's probably not going to go well for you, Tom. John Gray, Tyler McGill.
Unless it was the New York Rangers, maybe.
Guardians, Twins, Xavier Curry, Kenta Maeda, Padres, Cardinals, Blake Snell, Adam Wainwright, Brewers, Cubs, Wade Miley, Jamison Tyon, Pirates, Royals, Johan Oviedo and Zach Greinke, Braves, Rockies, Bryce Elder, Austin Gomber, A's, Mariners, TBD, and Brian Woo! Reds, Giants, Andrew Abbott, Kyle Harrison, and finally D-backs, Dodgers, Zach Gallen, Bobby Miller. And that is a look at those that shall reside on the bump. I like when I get to say Brian Woo when he's in the rotation. Brian Woo on the season, by the way, 1-3 with a 4.58, if you're wondering. Woo! There it is. All right, Brian. Woo! Woo! There it is. Oh, man. It's a hard week to get through.
Woo! Especially when there's, tropical event too. That kind of throws, it's like, we probably will be doing this on Wednesday and Tuesday and all that.
Likely, yes. I think we'll be able to do the show, even if we have to do it from the house. We'll see. But it'll be a good time. It's game week, damn it. Game week. Good work out of you. Good work, Director Matthew. Thanks to all of you guys. Be well, and of course, peace.